What's up? Welcome to Trackletics Live, the ultimate show for all things track and field. Join us as we dive deep into the sport, interviewing track and field athletes, coaches, nutrition specialists, and more. Get ready to hear some dope conversations and gain exclusive insight into what it takes to become a top performer in the sport. Whether you're a seasoned track and field athlete or just starting off, this is the show for you. So make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's get into the show. Oh, snap, everyone. Let's welcome Shyheim Wright.
Yo,
What's good, man? How you feeling today?
chilling, man, chilling. How you doing?
Doing great, my brother. I'm doing great. I see you got your beanie on. That's your brand, right?
Yes, sir. You dig, Brian?
You, you
I just
did.
started it. Yeah, I just started. I say I started like the end of last year. I just started putting on beanies, and I was like, I'm about to just start my own brand with it. So I just, took off with that. So
Hey, I
yeah,
respect it. I say every track and field athlete, every athlete period should definitely start their own brand. We all have our own little community audience, followers, especially with the social media stuff. And I've been seeing you posting it. The beanies are dope. I'm definitely gonna cop one. I need one for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. I got you.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it. But man, thank you for taking this second out of your day to sit down and have this conversation with me. I greatly appreciate it. Definitely want to go, behind the scenes and get your whole track story. I see what you're accomplishing now. But let's take it all the way back to the beginning. How did you get into track and field? Why are you in track and field?
So basically, I was playing football. Like that was my sport, just playing football my whole life for real. Started out with soccer, then I wasn't really good at soccer, so I started playing football. But then I say eighth grade, I was going to transition to high school, and the coach was like, you should work on your speed. I think you should run track. So I was like, I don't know nothing about track. I didn't know what track was, didn't know the events, nothing. So I started running track in high school, and my coach decided to put me in the hurdles because my legs were so long. He was like, I think you'd be pretty good in the hurdles. So I started doing hurdles, but I hated it. Like I hated track because, in football it's different. It's like, you run a play here and then you stop and then you cool. But on the track, you got a whole workout, you got to rest and then you got to run again. So I'm like, nah, I don't think I can do this. So yeah, my freshman year wasn't, I was like, I don't know if I could keep doing this, but my parents was like, come on, you gotta get faster for football. If you want to make it to the next level of football, you gotta get faster. So I just kept at it, and then I got really good at the hurdles. And then once I became like really really good at the hurdles, I was like, I don't know if I want to continue playing football because in football, you still getting hit. I played running back when I was playing football, and you got to take a lot of hits. And I was real tiny, real bony. I was tall, but I was bony. So I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna do the transition to track, and I took off from there.
Dang. Yeah, it's been history since then. Okay.
Yeah.
But you started off doing the hurdles. That's definitely not an easy event. It takes some speed, takes some skill. What keeps you motivated to even train and put in the work to actually compete in track and field? This is not an easy sport at all. So what
Yeah.
keeps you motivated?
I say when all right, so like my senior year of high school, I tore my quad.
Ooh,
So fully torn quad last meet of my high school career, tore it. And this is before I had to go to college. But I'm 17 years old at the time. I'm not even 18. I'm not even fully developed. And this is probably what, year four of me running track. I'm still new to it all. So I tear my quad. Then I got to go and transition to Division One in the ACC at Pitt. And I was like, I don't know. It just so happens that like every time I had like trials and tribulations at this point in my life now, I know that, God didn't take me this far to abandon me. So I know that at this I'm gonna get back into it, and that's what keeps me going. I'm like, you know, all these things that I've been through, and I'm still here, still being able to run, still being able to hurdle. There's no point for me to, give up the gift. So that's what really keep me going for real,
Right.
for real.
Yeah, God didn't take you this far to only take you this far, to set up for a major comeback for sure. And I've had some teammates that have been through some injuries. I've been through some injuries myself. And I
Yeah,
always say you have to appreciate the injuries because, it's a sign of something that, could go wrong in the bigger meet on the bigger stage.
yeah,
College is cutthroat. So you get there and you get injured. They looking at you like, might want
damaged
to hit that
goods.
transfer portal, my
Yeah,
boy. So it when you get injured, it makes you actually sit down and focus on what you need to do to recover, and you appreciate the sport a lot more, right? You appreciate the
definitely,
recovery, the warm up, and building a whole routine so that it doesn't happen again. If you
definitely.
never experience that, then you just kind of take it for granted. I would say, whether it's a big injury like you're tearing your quad, small injury, or a little nagging injury. If you never experienced that, you kind of just take it for granted. And God forbid it happens on the bigger stage, at a more important part of your
Yeah,
life or part of your career.
yeah.
So now I definitely understand that. Um, but from high school to college, right? You started the hurdles. Your senior year was your fourth year running, and then you went off to Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Did you have other offers on the table? Were you interested in any other schools? What made you choose Pitt?
So yeah, my junior year is where I really took off in track. I was indoors, I was US number three, and the person that was US number one at the time was Grant Holloway. I know everybody know who Grant Holloway is.
Yeah,
So that's when colleges started to look like. I mean, Grant was already on top, but they saw me, at number three. They was like, who is this kid? So I had a lot of schools. I say the summer of my junior year, I had a lot of schools come at me. I had, Miami, Tennessee, LSU, Virginia Tech. There's a whole bunch of Division One schools, and at this point, I was only trying to go Division One. Like, now it's like I feel like now Division One, Division Two, like divisions don't really matter in track. It never really mattered, but like especially now because you see so many athletes in other divisions running so well, but my mindset in high school was like, I gotta go D1, I gotta go D1. So it was I took off from there. But I think the reason why I chose Pitt was because they gave me the most scholarship. You know what I'm saying? That's a given,
granted
Uh
that.
gotta take that. And then the coaches really they gave me like a family atmosphere. Um, it was like a family away from home type thing. And the proximity from home, it wasn't too far. It's like 3 hours from my hometown, Maryland. So it was I feel like it was like the right choice for me at the time. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is the environment like? But you said it's like a family, and that's very important to have that family environment, that family atmosphere of people that support you for one, people that want to see you win. Because there's a lot of hating on the low. You run a fast time, and your teammate looking at you like, hey,
yeah,
like we don't need all that. We want teammates that see you winning and they're just excited for you as you are for yourself.
yep,
That'll help fuel you, keep you focused, so that you can really reach your full potential.
yep.
But what were some other determining factors? Was it like, hey, I saw the facility and I'm like, man, I could really lock in and train here? What's the school life like? You're a student athlete, so
hmm
what were some of those major determining factors, right? Aside from the family atmosphere, was it your coach, the facility?
Um, the funny thing is, Pitt doesn't have a track. Pitt doesn't have like a facility for track, and that really wasn't like a big deal for me. It wasn't a deal breaker because I'm like, track is track. Like I'm running on anything for real. But I had a teammate. So my freshman year of high school, my teammate was a senior. He went to Pitt. So when I was on my visit, he was my host. So I say that was probably really the main reason why I went to Pitt, because I was, comfortable with, somebody that I knew. And mind you, I was so young on my visit. I was 16 years old. So I couldn't do anything on the visit, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm 16, so I felt like, I needed somebody. Like, I just needed somebody that I knew around. And I would have been so scared to go anywhere further than, from the state over. Maryland is right next to PA, but I was just so scared. But, him being there, being my host, I was like, I feel like I could still be able to be successful here. And, it was the campus wasn't too big. It was a nice little city vibe, nothing too crazy. I'm not really into the big school where, a whole bunch of lights and cameras and all that. I don't get down like that. I'm real low key, so I like the fact that Pitt was real, real low key. So
Low key,
yeah,
but it seemed like they set you up. They had one of your boys host you, show you
yeah,
a good time, show you the family atmosphere. But that's dope, though. I love to hear those stories, because I've heard some of the opposite stories where some people were hosted and they hate the person that they're hosting or that they're, getting hosted by. They're
uh-huh,
not getting along at all. The person is not showing you no love. They giving you
yeah,
that like you a little boy type,
little cold shoulder,
yeah,
yeah,
like that's not cool at all. So it's dope
yeah.
that you actually had that experience. But what is it like for you at Pitt now? What is the training like?
Um, I'm graduated, so I graduated 2021. I
Okay.
graduated, but I can say that my experience at Pitt was we'll ju- we'll just say it wasn't as great as advertised.
Uh,
I give it
okay.
that wasn't as great as advertised. Coming in, on the visit, everything is all good. That's what they're supposed to show you. They're supposed to show you all the good things.
All right.
But I say once I got to Pitt, I really got to see like how, you know, how an injury, first of all, like you said earlier, like an injury could really turn heads. Like coaches like, I don't know if he's like that anymore, type thing. So I feel like sometimes my coaches would be like, I don't know if he's got it, and I felt like my confidence went down, especially because I'm going through a big injury, tore
Okay.
my quad, and when I tore it, I didn't even know I tore it. So I tore it, went to the doctor. The doctor's like, I had a lump in my leg, and they're like, I don't know what this is. But I had to transition. I didn't get to do any fall training my freshman year. And I just felt like the coaches didn't really believe in me as much as they did when they first recruited me. But I got it together. I got it together my senior year, and was able to make nationals. But then COVID hit. So once COVID hit, I was just like, I'm gonna just be done with track type thing. So I say my experience at Pitt was okay. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change my experience for the world. Like, it's the reason why I am who I am today. But you know, it could have been better. But you live and you learn.
Right. Right. Yeah. I was gonna ask, how did COVID affect you? It kind of it shut down the whole track and field world, and I hate it every time that I turn the TV on. Every other sport picked back up.
Yeah,
Basketball playing in the bubble, football playing, soccer still out there.
everybody
I'm
was
like, bruh,
playing.
we're an outdoor sport. You got basketball playing. The NBA is playing in the bubble, bruh. If anything, we should be back on the track. Like, you
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Give us a lane. It could be lane one, lane three.
Yeah, just
Like, what's
spread it
what's
out or
going
something.
on? So how did COVID actually affect you, especially you being in college? What was that like?
So, um, so I'm gonna go to my beginning of my senior year. So my senior year, I was like, all right, it's my last year. Let me lock in. No partying, no going out. Let me lock in. And my indoor season was going great. I'm ripping off wins. And I ended up going 7-6 in the 60 hurdles. And at the time, I was ninth in the world. So I'm feeling myself. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be nice. Come outdoor. It's over. I'm gonna go sign a little pro deal, all that. And then nationals comes about, indoor nationals. They cancel it. So we don't even know what's going on at this point. You remember everybody was just like, they canceled this. It's going to be like a week break type thing. Weeks turned into months, and then months turned into a year. And I was like, I remember that time when no one knew what was going on. I'm at home and I'm not training, not doing nothing because I'm like, ain't no point. We don't know what's going to happen next. And I gained. This is where the track. I was like, I'm done with track. I ended up gaining. I was already running at 205, so I was pretty on the heavier side. I was at 225 during COVID, eating good, feeling
Eating
good,
real good.
eating. And so COVID, the thing is with COVID, even though like I wasn't running track, that was probably one of the funnest times of my life, just off the fact that I got to become a college student. I wasn't able to become like a regular student to where I didn't have to worry about practice. I didn't have to worry about, going to meets. I didn't have to worry about eating right. I was just a student and I was just having fun, going out, partying with my friends. And, I met my like lifelong friends during COVID, like people that I hang out with now. That's the people who, I met during COVID. So I say that's why I wouldn't change how it happened. Even though like I didn't take track seriously, I still, enjoy the fact that I was able to find people that, I enjoyed to be around. Because at one point I wasn't, I didn't like being around my teammates just off the fact that it was so stressful and, everything was so stressful with track. I found a different set of people that was, took my mind off track. And then, you know, so that's how COVID was really for me. Just really being able to experience the college life for real.
Yeah, because a lot of times, we're so busy with track and field, practice, recovery, meets,
Yeah,
meetings, and curfews. It's up early morning for the lift, and you back later on in the day for the running. Like so much
crazy.
going on with the athletics in college. You don't actually get to be a college student, and then all of a sudden 4 years is over, and you like, dang, I didn't really enjoy this. As
Yeah,
opposed to the college students, they really live in the college life,
yeah,
and it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like a setup for life
hmm
where, like you're meeting your lifelong friends, you're learning life lessons, and you're trying to figure things out as
right.
opposed to like we're struggling and they're keeping us poor just to have us run track.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But you said you guys don't really have a track facility there. So what was the training like? What were you doing for training? Were you lifting and running?
So it we would go and practice at like a public park. So we had a public park like off campus. So I'll tell you how like fall training went. So fall training would start like sometime in December. And we had like a trail, like a dirt trail that led up to the public park. It's like 2 mile trail that we ran every day. So the coach will pull up, we have like a little gazebo that we go to. We wait for the coach there, take off all our clothes, put it in his truck. He drive up to the track. He like, I'll meet you there type thing. We run up there, and then, by the time we get to the track, we all sweaty and tired or whatnot. Then we go, we warm up, do our regular warm up, and then he'll have the workout for the day. But most of the time, we weren't even working out on the track. We had it was like an incline hill that we would work out on, and it's like 600 meters downward, upward, and that's what most of our workouts would be. It was real. Our coach was like Bill Belichick of the Patriots, like a drill sergeant. If you tired, stand up. You're not tired type thing. So it was one of those. It was one of those things. It really took you to the brink of insanity, I say. But it made us all stronger mentally. Like I feel like at this point I could really do any workout out there just because of him. But yeah, sometimes for indoor we did have like a 60-meter straightaway. So it wasn't a full track; it was just a straightaway. So we it was a straightaway mondo track, and then it was turf on the side. So we do like sled work, speed work on those days in there. And then we had a little field house. So the field house wasn't like a real track. It was like a volleyball. It was a volleyball stadium, but there was like a track around it.
Around it, yeah.
So that's where we did most of our running indoors. So
Dang,
yeah,
crazy. Well, you can't call it indoor anymore. It's short
short
track now.
track. Yeah,
Yeah,
short track. I
that
don't know why they
sounds so.
made that. I don't know why they made
Yeah,
that change.
out of there. There's so many other things wrong with track and field that
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
fix.
like
Why they changing the name to short track? That
to
don't
the
make no
name.
sense at
Yeah,
all. But speaking of those workouts, especially that 2 mile trail leading to the park, what's one of those workouts that you feel really helped you, whether it was gain your speed, your strength, or build your mindset? Because mindset is a huge factor, right? You're
yeah,
gonna get in some races with some top dogs. You're gonna have different weather conditions, whether it's raining, it's super cold,
yep,
or I've even raced in Arizona and it's like 115 and we like melting on the
mm,
track.
yeah,
So that mindset is a huge factor. No matter who you racing against, no matter what the conditions are, you got to get out there and you got to eat. You got to put it down on the
yeah.
track. So what's one of those workouts that you feel really help, either build your speed, your strength, or your mindset, like you were saying?
So I say the 2200s. That workout always like stuck in my mind. 2200s coming in at 30 to 35. He gave us, good little time, 30 to 35. But it was the fact that once you got a hang of the workout sound hard. Like it is a hard workout, don't get me wrong. But once you got a hang of it, it became a little fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you once you get the tempo, you can hit the time every time. Because I think you gave us like 2 minute rest, like 2.5 minute rest. So you probably like after like the first three, you start feeling tired. You know what I'm saying? But once you get, it's weird because like once I got like later in the workout, I wasn't as tired. I felt the same as I did on rep 3
Right.
as I did at rep 14. So that's where my mindset was like, all right, I can only get so much tired. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna get too much tired to where I'm a fall and pass out. I know I can finish the workout. So I feel like that workout was great for my mindset. Another workout that was good for my speed was 150s. I love doing 150s. It was like wasn't too long, wasn't too short, nice little speed workout. We would do 2 sets, 3 150s, uh, uh, 18, 17, 16 in the field house. You know, I think 150s is great for any event, any short sprint event, 1 to 2, even a 4. The 4, you do like broken fours or something like that. But for short sprint events, 150s was always my favorite event to do for speed. So yeah, that's
Yeah, 150s take me out. I don't know why. My coach loves 150s. It is a great speed workout, but
yeah.
150s take me out, bro. I'd be throwing up. Coach be like, "All right, Samar, come on, let's go." I'm like,
And they be
"Dang."
hurting.
Yeah, it's a different level of hurt with those 150s, but it does help you. It definitely puts you in that track feel that
Yeah,
like you got a full body pump,
yeah.
your heart is just racing, and it gets you to that mental point where you're like, okay, look, bro, we tired, but if we really
Sorry.
want this, we gotta work, we
Yeah.
gotta, what I'm saying, we gotta eat.
And it could be worse. Like we could be running like 350s, like the long sprinter be running like 350s, 450s. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from
I'm
that.
gonna
Yeah,
be over here at the 150 mark.
yeah,
But those
it'll be worse.
2200s, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know you said it get easier, but that's crazy, bro. Out here, we have something called the parloff. Have you ever had a parloff? Do you know what that is?
Nah, what is that?
So, my college coach actually created the parloff back when he was a high school coach. And it's basically a relay of 5 people running 8 200s, right? So we'll run 8 200s, and we out there passing out like throwing up,
Yeah.
dying, you know. And with that, it's a continuous relay of 5, right? So your rest time changes depending on how fast your teammates are running. So you might get 2 minutes
Mm,
rest, you know, because it might be 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, you 2 minutes,
yeah.
or it might go 25, 25. Like it, and it depends what leg you are. Like, so it start as people start speeding up, you get less rest. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh my
crazy, but y'all
goodness.
out there running 20. I could not imagine running 20 200s. That's crazy. No way.
Yeah.
No, I don't want no parts.
No
No
part. It
parts of
was
that.
terrible.
Right.
It was terrible for real.
That's crazy. But now, you know, let's say we got the workout in, right? We doing the 150s, the workout is over. What are you refueling with after? What's your favorite post-workout meal?
Um, it really depends. Like sometimes we'll drink like a I'll drink like a chocolate milk after. I know it sounds crazy, but like I'll drink like a chocolate milk, eat like a PB&J. Um, but sometimes we had like a Chick-fil-A on campus. So after practice we go like walk down. We have the cathedral. That's like the main attraction at Pitt. We got a big old cathedral. And at the bottom of the cathedral, um, there's a Chick-fil-A. So after practice, we go to Chick-fil-A, get a chicken sandwich or something. But that's if we was up for it. You know, you be too tired, you want to go straight to the dorm, go to sleep. You know,
Yep.
go to your crib, go to sleep. But yeah, Chick-fil-A was probably one of my go-to. I wouldn't drink no shakes or nothing. Like I wasn't really like a big shake guy. Our coach was like, "You gotta drink your protein shakes." I was not drinking no
I mean,
protein shakes.
you're getting it in you know, your chocolate milk. So there's a lot
Yeah,
of runners that actually like the chocolate milk after practice. That was
yeah,
my go-to in high school and college as well. PB&J, chocolate milk.
yeah,
We had a little like a little sports kitchen where my coach would stock up a peanut butter, jelly, you know, new bread, and we'd be in there, and he'd come in there, and he'd had a Nesquik powdered milk, powder, you know, strawberry chocolate, or
yeah.
he would have the actual syrup, and we in there making chocolate milks. Then he did start getting protein powder and stuff for the athletes that, like, you know, started going on to, you know, conference finals and
Hmm.
championships and stuff like that. But chocolate milk was the go-to, so I feel you
Yeah.
on that for sure. But you know, there comes a point after college where you really got to sit down and figure out what your goals are with the sport and your life, you know. So what would you say your goals are for track and field? What are you looking to accomplish?
Um, I don't know. I say when I was in college, my goal was to be like, you know, Olympian and, you know, run for Nike and all that. But, you know, as I got older and started like diving in more to track and field, I knew that probably wasn't the only like that wasn't the thing that I really wanted to do. It was just something that like I felt like I wanted to do, but it's not like something that I wanted to do. So I once I graduated from college, I was, you know, at home, I'm chilling, right? I'm still I had an injury when I graduated. So I really wasn't training or anything. And I'm sitting on TikTok. You know, I'm sitting scrolling on TikTok. I was never on TikTok. That's the craziest part. Like when TikTok first came out, I was like, I'm not using that app. Like I'm not using it. So I'm in bed. I'm just, you know, scrolling through TikTok, and I'm like, I feel like I could, you know, be good at making TikTok videos. It was just weird. I was like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'll go online and I'm like, how to blow up on TikTok. I'm looking up videos on how to blow up on TikTok. I'm like, I'm not gonna be dancing to none of that. So uh they was like, you need to find a niche, like something that you know about the most. And I'm like, I know about track the most. So I was like, I'm about to start making like, you know, little memes about track on TikTok. And I remember I started my first TikTok like December 22nd, 2021. That was my first TikTok. I started it, I put the camera up on my little studio light, and made the video, got like 30 views or something. And I was like, I'm gonna just keep making TikToks. Cause I didn't have no direction at the time. I'm like, I'm gonna just keep making TikToks. And then sure enough, it started, gaining ground. And I started, blowing up on TikTok. And that's when I really started to find like what I wanted to do. Instead of just like becoming like a great track athlete, I wanted to teach the next generation, how to be good at track. Because I felt like me personally, like some coaches didn't really, I feel like some coaches didn't get to teach me, or they didn't know how to teach me. And I feel like I could relate. I've always like worked with kids, and I feel like I could relate to kids way more than like some of these older coaches. So I felt like, I'm gonna just help out as many kids as possible. So that's really my goal, is to just inspire the next, all the things that I've been through, all the mistakes that I made, just make sure the next, generation don't make that mistake, just to tap into their full potential. And just telling my story, just, I was just like you, I wasn't that good when I started out. I didn't like track, and then, I became pretty good at it. So it's really just, becoming, a person that can inspire the next generation. And then, through TikTok and, through all these social media apps. So yeah, that's basically what my plan is at this point in time now.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I'm always telling my teammates, you should build your personal brand, document your journey, share your story,
yeah,
and one that can help you acquire partnerships, sponsorships, stuff like that. But it
hmm
will help you connect with the next generation or even some of your peers, and you can
yeah,
inspire them. They'll
hmm
get to know more about you, and you'll be able to, whether it's sell products, make money off the content,
yeah,
but you through those steps, you can really figure out what the next step is.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
a lot of us, just think that we're supposed to sit down and have it all figured out, but you
Yeah,
really need to take that first step, and then the staircase will appear.
hmm
You'll start figuring out stuff from there, whether TikTok is paying you, whether companies see you and, they want you to wear their product,
yeah,
like Ocean Spray sponsored, this guy because
yeah,
he was just skateboarding, drinking Ocean Spray, and they like, hey, bro, we got a check for you,
yeah,
and it can happen like that, or you can drop your own beanies that say you dig. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Now your content
exactly.
going viral, people are loving the beanies, and people are buying them, because of who you are and because how you've inspired them and have impacted their lives. So that's
Yep.
that's dope for sure. Um, what's one thing that you would actually tell the younger generation? What's one lesson that you would actually teach the younger generation?
The main thing is, I say, don't make track your number one priority. You know what I'm saying? Don't make sports your number one priority. I won't even say just track, just sports. I say, me personally, I made sports everything. Like sports was everything, whether it be the NFL, the NBA. I was like, sports is it. And I feel like that was real detrimental to my development. Even as like an adolescence, like I was always thinking sports, sports, sports. I wasn't trying to really expand my mind. At this point in time, I'm all about ascending, ascending mentally, high vibrations, ascending mentally. I've really gotten real spiritual in the past, like I say the past year, I've been like real spiritual, just trying to ascend my mind and just always have good vibes. If you have, I figured out, looking at people, people who are really successful, they always talk about having good vibes, having good vibrations, and being real spiritual. You know, always learning, always trying to learn something new because we're humans and all of us are human beings. So you know, I say I'm religious as well. God put us on this earth to learn. Move through His image, but also learn. He gave us the tools here. Nature's our playground. So I'm all about trying to ascend my mind to make it to that next realm. You know what I'm saying? So I say for the younger generation is always be willing to learn. You know, when you're young, you think you got it all figured out, but you really don't. Like, you're not even scratching the surface. None of us are. None of us know what's going on. We're all, you know, moving through this dimension, you know, and at the same time, we don't know, we don't have everything figured out. We don't know everything. So always learning, always trying to expand your mind is what I tell, you know, the younger generation. And it'll really help you out because, you know, once you put yourself in a box, you really can't, you start to get sad when, you know, you feel like there's nothing else but that box. But if you start to learn, you know, learn different people, learn how other people think, learn how this works, that works, you'll really feel better about yourself because there's always something else to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always something else that you can, you know, figure out. So I say, like, don't put yourself in the sports box. Always expand your mind. And I feel like if you expand your mind, you go back to the sports, you know, it'd be much easier for you because you just, you know, free flowing spirit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Facts. No, that's true, right? Because sometimes it's not just about the sport that you're competing in, whether you're running track, playing basketball, or whatever. You know, there's so many other avenues within sports, you know. So we be so set on, oh, I'm gonna get a sponsorship from Nike, and
Yeah,
then it doesn't happen, and now you're looking at yourself like a failure, and
exactly.
you didn't document your journey, right? You didn't build your own personal brand. You
Hmm.
didn't do anything that could lead you down a different path, or you didn't take any steps at all, you know. So
Yeah.
for example, I feel like I'm an example of that. You know, I'm running track, but I sat down and I had the same thought as you. Like, man, I'm gonna create me a track page. I'm gonna connect
Yeah.
with athletes. You know, and one follower turned into two followers turned into 50, turned into 100, 500, 1,000.
Yeah.
Now we have 56,000, and I never actually thought like I'm gonna create a podcast. It just
Yeah.
so happened that I started connecting with dope athletes like yourself.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yo, I would love to, you know, go live with you and have a conversation. I had
Exactly. Yeah.
one conversation that turned into two turned into five. Somebody told me, hey, man, you know, you got a podcast? I'm like, dang, I do kind of got a little live show podcast, huh?
Yeah.
Now I'm at the track meets and people are like, yo, I watch your podcast, bro. I'm literally
Yeah.
at a track meet and the dude that I'm about to race against in the next lane he looked at me and I'm looking at him like, why he keep looking at me like,
Yeah.
do he want to smoke? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And then he like laughed and he was like, bro, you got that podcast. You run that track page. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's me. And he said, man, I watch your stuff every day. I'm like, dang, I appreciate that.
Hmm.
We finna race, but you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll
Still
holler at
love.
you after, you know.
Yeah.
But it came because I started taking the same steps that you're talking about, you know,
Hmm.
whether it's like I said, documenting the journey, you know, posting content, trying to connect with the next generation, inspire them, help impact their lives as well. And now, you know, I'm on a podcast live show with athletes like yourself, you know, so I
Yeah.
truly believe the same thing. Don't be so set that, hey, I'm gonna get this sponsorship because it might be another brand that you know wants you.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan wanted to be sponsored by Adidas. He went over.
Exactly.
I think they're from Germany. He went to Germany to talk to Adidas, and he like, dang, they don't really care about me. They don't even have their own business stuff figured
Yeah.
out. A Nike rep pulled up on him and he was like, dang, okay, yeah, I think I'm a rock with Nike then, you know? So we be so set in stone that I'm gonna go to this school, I'm gonna get this sponsorship, I'm gonna do this. And when it doesn't happen like that, you know, we feel like we're a failure.
Yeah.
I heard this quote, it said, man tells, it's like man tells God his plan and God laughs. And it's basically
Yeah.
saying like, it's, it's, it's God's plan. It's God's timing, right? We're out here just like you said, moving through the universe, right? Like you're here to learn and grow. And we be trying to make
Exactly.
all these plans. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and that's not your life
Yeah.
plan, you know. So you just
Yeah.
really got to take the steps, and the staircase will appear for you, you know. So I definitely appreciate those words, bro. I completely agree with you. I completely feel it. I've seen your content. It's inspiring. It's insightful. It's educational, like you said, whether it's from the problems that you've been through, the injuries,
Hmm.
life lessons as well, you know. And the next generation loves TikTok. They love social media. They
Yeah.
look at it a completely different way than we do.
Yeah.
When I was in high school with Instagram, we was posting pictures of the food, pictures of
Yeah.
your shoes,
Post
you know.
anything.
Yeah, posting anything, you know. Now it's a whole different ball game. So for somebody like yourself to be taking the time out of their day to actually inspire, educate, give insight into the game. That's deep. That's major. That's huge for real.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. It's it's important. The next generation needs it. Athletes like myself need it. You know, I'm watching your content and I'm like, dang, yeah, it get me back focused. It get me back inspired.
Yep.
And like I said, I believe I'm literally an example of that. You know, started with track. I'm still running track, but now I have a whole business out of it. You know, I'm
Uh-huh.
acquiring sponsorships and partnerships for the podcast, personal and for the podcast, you know, and so you can do whatever you want with it. Really.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep grinding. And I appreciate you sitting down, having this conversation with me. It's been great getting to know more about your goals, your story, what you're looking to accomplish. And I'm gonna definitely
Of
stay
course.
connected with you. I need one of those beanies for sure. I'm a cop one.
Of course. I got you. You know I got you. Anybody need a beanie, I got you.
Yes, sir. Go follow him, Shyheim.Wright. You got the link in your bio. How we cop
What for the
the
beanies?
beanies.
Oh,
Yeah.
just DM me. You know, DM me. I'm gonna get a link. I'm gonna get a website. I'm working on that right now. But you know, for now, just DM me, and I got you.
Well, follow him, Shyheim.Wright. Shoot him a DM so you can cop the official You Dig beanie. The beanies are hard. They look warm. I definitely need one. I always got something on my head over the lot, so I'm a cop one for
I
sure. But I
got the
appreciate you.
other beanies. The beanies got satin inside.
Oh yeah, I need
So
one of them. I need both.
yeah, yeah, I got
I
you. I
need
got you with
both for
both.
sure.
Got you.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. That is it for us
Sure.
here on Trackletics Live, y'all.
Peace and love. Peace and love.